What's up, y'all? Welcome to Country with Noah. Today I'm going to be reviewing 911 Nashville Season 1. And, so let's get started. For those of y'all that have watched my episode reviews of this, I only did the first, 8 episodes and then I fell behind. That is why I'm reviewing the whole season in this review. Because I love this show. I think this show's great. I think it has great characters, great performances, great action, great stakes, great character development, and great mystery to it as well. So this show it's a very stacked cast. So it stars Chris O'Donnell, Jessica Capshaw, Kimberly Williams Paisley, Leanne Rhymes, and a bunch of other really cool people. So, and I'm gonna make you guys this promise. Eventually, when I get around to it, the whole 911 universe of shows will be covered on this channel. I will review all the 911 universe of shows on this channel. Because 911, the original one, which is set in LA, 911 Lone Star, which is set in Texas, and now 911 Nashville, are all set in the same universe. So basically, this season is just it throws us into the dynamic of this new firehouse. So we have Dawn, Blythe, Blue, Ryan, Taylor, Roxy, Dixie, and the main leads of this series are Dawn, Blythe, Blue, and Ryan. But it's an ensemble show, so it's every episode deepens the characters even more. Right? And this is a show designed by Ryan Murphy, who, for my money, is one of the best producers on TV, and stuff like that. So this show has new characters. It's completely new characters. We haven't met these characters before in the 911 universe. At least I don't think so, because I'm going to be covering the 911 universe, all of it, once I get around to it, because there's 9 seasons of the original show and 5 seasons of Lone Star, which I haven't watched. But for me, it's this show is incredible. The way they do they blend so many different genres on here. I would say this is a dramatic show because of what it involves. It's revolving around a firehouse. And by the way, for any firefighters or first responders or military that are watching this, thank you for your service. But yeah, this is a focused on a firehouse and first aid unit that is based in Nashville, in my opinion, one of the coolest places on earth. And they really use Nashville as a character in this. So basically, you have you meet the Hart family. So that's Ryan, Blythe, and Dawn, right? And they're the Hart family. They have been just living their life and had a good, strong family unit for when we pick up on the show. But then Blue Bennings comes in, and Blue Bennings is Dawn's son with Dixie. Now Dixie is a singer, right? Music is a big part of this show because it's set in Nashville, Music City. So you have that dynamic between Dawn and Blue building a relationship, but also Dixie and Blythe hate each other. Hate each other, because Dixie is kind of a snake. she's a snake, and uh she doesn't she doesn't like she doesn't consider things, like, and she's very manipulative, right? She's very manipulated. So that's the whole dynamic of the show. You have Ryan and Blue building their brotherly relationship. You have Blue trying to build a relationship with Dawn because he hasn't met his father before he meets him in the show, right? So you have him trying to build a relationship with his dad, and then you also have Blythe trying to build a relationship with her stepson, right? And you have that dynamic, but you also have Dixie, and as I said, Dixie is a snake. Like, she lies a lot. And at the beginning of the show, like, for the first, like, what is it, like 7 episodes, Dixie has polyps. I'm gonna talk about the performances that the actors give in a minute, because for those of y'all that don't know, one of my goals in my life, I love singing, I love acting, I love dancing, I love producing, I love songwriting, I love all that stuff. So I'm an actor and a singer. So like, I but I'm not an expert on any of these things. I'm a student, man, and I always want to be a student, because the best singers and actors are always students. I don't care if you're 23, almost 24 like I am, or you're 93. You're the best at what you do if you're always learning new things, right? So that's what I'm telling you guys. I am not a vocal expert. I am not an acting expert. I am learning how to become a better actor and a better singer and a better rapper and a better songwriter and a better producer and a better YouTuber, and I'm learning how to become better at anything in my life. But I'm always going to be a student. So I'm not an expert, but I'm just going to give you guys my opinions, and I'm just going to hopefully tell you guys what I know about um, singing and acting through this review. So, yeah. But yeah, you basically have that dynamic, and Dawn is basically caught in the middle. Dawn and Blue are basically caught in the middle between Blythe and Dixie's war, right? And Blythe and Dixie, they couldn't be different. They're very different from each other. Blythe is very nice and very very like a stand-up person, right? And so is Dawn. Dawn and Blythe are stand-up people, right? Dixie is not a stand-up person. She lies. She is very manipulative of Dawn and very manipulative of her son Blue, and but you can tell that she loves her son, but she's still very manipulative of him. And then, so basically, at the end of the oh yes, and then I forgot, you have Cammy. So Cammy was a music producer, but she didn't just, but 3 years ago from when the show starts, because the show starts in 2025, because that's when the first season aired, right? 3 years before that, Cammy switched careers and became a 911 dispatcher because her husband died, and she had a career change, and now she is involved in the family business because Ryan and Dawn are both firefighters, and Blythe and her family, so Blythe's dad, and Cammy all support the firefighters, because if I forgot to say, Blythe's family, the Rowleys, are very wealthy. Like, I mean very wealthy. Like, her dad, Blythe's dad, owns a winery or a distillery. So they're very wealthy, right? And then Dixie, on the other hand, is very She has an incredible voice. Dixie is played by Leanne Rimes. For those of y'all that don't know who Leanne Rimes is, Leanne Rimes is an incredible singer and an incredible actress, right? Um, right? And so she has an incredible voice, but Dixie's not a very nice person. Like as I said, like she's very manipulative and stuff like that. And she gets what she wants by any means necessary. Let's just put it that way, right? And yeah, for me, this show is great. So the performances by the actors. So Chris O'Donnell, if the only thing you've seen Chris O'Donnell in is Batman and Robin, which I've seen him in NCIS with LL Cool J and uh and 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 Batman and Robin, but I've only watched like a few episodes of NCIS, right? So like the main thing I remember Chris O'Donnell from is Batman and Robin, and I'm a big Batman fan, but I don't like Batman and Robin. I don't like Batman and Robin or uh I Batman Forever, right? So like this Chris O Chris O'Donnell's a great actor. It's just I don't like the two Batman movies he was in, right? But that's why I say that you don't get to judge an actor off of only one performance, right? And this is why, because Chris O'Donnell is very like when all these actors disappear into their characters. Like, for example, like you have Chris O'Donnell like doing a I don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna try. A subtle Southern accent, or like a subtle Southern accent, right? Like that, like that. I don't do his Southern accent very much justice because I'm still learning how to do accents and stuff like that. But um, he does a great job. Leanne Rhymes, I know Leon Rhymes from music. I know Leon Rhymes from music, not from acting, right? I know she's acted before, but like, I mainly know her from music, right? I think everybody, even if you don't really know country music, you know who Leanne Rhymes is, right? Because she was a big uh, crossover star, right? And but Leanne Rhymes is an incredible actor, incredible actress, because um because like as I said, like she's an incredible singer, but like and they do use her voice, like her singing voice, a lot in the season, like because she's a background singer. So in the show, Dixie sang background for Carrie Underwood, for Faith Hill, for uh, Zach Bryan, for people like that. But she also writes and sings her own music, right? And they also have a firefighter named Taylor that's a fellow creative, like um, and likes to sing and write and do all that stuff. So like there's a lot of like music adjacent things, like as I said, like Cammy, Kimberly Williams Paisley's character was a music producer before she was a 911 dispatcher, right? And so yeah, like you have like you you have great performances here. Like I just want so like Leanne Rhymes for the first part of Dixie's like story arc, right? Leanne Rhymes has to play a character with polyps on her throat, right? And because Dixie has polyps on her throat. So like, and if you don't know what polyps are, you can develop. I'm not a vocal expert, but I've done a bit of research. You can develop them on your throat and they make it very, 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 very hard to sing. So like usually when you sing, you yeah, yeah, let's do this right. Uh, let's do this right. Um, Polyps make your voice raspy, right? And not in a good way, raspy, in a bad way. Like, polyps could eventually kill you. That's how bad polyps are. So, at the beginning of the show, for the first like 8 episodes or so, Dixie, Leanne Rimes' character, has polyps on her throat, right? And so Leanne Rimes has to play a singer with polyps, right? And if you like, Leanne Rimes is one of the best singers in the world, but playing a singer with polyps on this TV show, I can guarantee you that was hard. So I want to give her props, because it's like a lot of Dixie's like, there's an episode where she has to talk like this because she like her she fakes her she fakes having a her polyps burst, right? Dixie fakes having her polyps burst. So in the episode, Dixie has to talk like this, and very like and very like down here, and stuff like that, and 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 then she gets the polyps removed, right? And then you get to really hear like Leanne Rimes' voice shine through, right? Because obviously, if you're gonna have Leanne Rimes in your thing, you're gonna have her sing in your thing, right? So she does sing, and they use the music from Dixie in a very unique way. Like eventually, like the last 2 episodes, and I never thought this could happen in country, but in the last 2 episodes, Blythe and Dixie, so Jessica Capshaw plays wife in the show. Um, they have a like, Dixie and Blythe never get along, right? Because again, they're very different, and there's a lot of baggage there, and we're both trying to figure it out. But eventually, like, Blythe and Blythe is trying to look out for Dawn, and like, Dawn and Blythe don't want Dixie part of their life anymore, right? But they want Blue part of their life, because Blue has nothing to do with the history between Blythe, Dixie, and Dawn, right? Besides Blue being Dawn and Dixie's son, right? So literally the last 2 episodes, they use they use they use the music because Dixie also had a solo career before she became a background singer, right? If you don't know what a background singer is, background singer, so like when you see singers on stage, like Carrie Underwood, for example, right? We'll use Carrie Underwood for example. She has like, obviously she's singing, but she also has singers behind her. That's what a background singer is. They're basically there to harmonize, or to or to create a melody for whoever the singer is, or something like that. And they're really good at what they do, because depending on who they're singing background for, sometimes you gotta sound like Dolly Parton, sometimes you gotta sound like Ariana Grande, sometimes you gotta sound like Carrie Underwood, sometimes you gotta sound like Stevie Wonder, sometimes you gotta sound like Usher, sometimes you gotta sound like it's basically whatever a singer needs, that is what your background singer does, right? It's like, because you have to either match them or do something completely different than the other singer, right? So like background singers are really really talented, and I don't feel that they get enough love showered upon them, because without the background singers, like, some songs just wouldn't work. Right? So that's what Dixie does. But Dixie also had a solo career before she became a background singer. Like, if you guys know the gospel artist Isaac Hayes, I think that's his name, right? Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes has sang background for Tim McGraw and Faith Hill on the tour that they did, or the last tour that they did together. He sang background for Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, right? So that's basically what Dixie's been doing, but with these polyps that she has unfortunately developed, until she gets the surgery that she gets halfway through 911 Nashville season 1, she can't sing anymore. But once she can't sing well while she has the polyps in, right? And because depending on how bad the polyps are, if you sing with the polyps, it could really damage your vocal cords, right? To the point where you can't even talk. Like, that's how bad polyps can get. So obviously Dixie's main goal is to get the polyps removed for the first half of the season. But then more secrets come out about Dixie's true intentions. Like, Dixie always felt jealous because Blythe saved Dawn from going down a dark, 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 dark path in his life. And Dixie's more of the devil on his shoulder, and Blythe is more of the angel on Dawn's shoulder. So like, I'm sure it was a fun character. I'm sure it's a fun character for LeAnn Rimes to play, because playing like the antagonist and the villain is fun in some ways when you get to play that. So I'm sure it was a fun character to play, or it is a fun character to play. And for me, this show is just incredible, guys. Like, it's incredible. And like, again, music is a big part. Like, again, this isn't a musical, this is a drama. But like, as I said, like, you have music producers, you have two people that like sing songs on the show, with LeAnn Rimes' character and a firefighter that they focus on the show named Taylor. She's also a singer, right? And so like, music is a big part of, I would say, the DNA of this show, right? Because you have one of the leads of this show, Dixie, being a singer, right? And eventually it gets to the point where Dixie does a diss track against, yes, a diss track against Blythe and Dawn, and it's actually a like, because Dixie's trying to get revenge on Blythe and Dawn by spilling all Blythe's secrets out, right? And stuff like that. So yeah, for me, I love this show. I think it's great, and thank God it got renewed for season 2, because they ended it on a cliffhanger. Basically, what happens is Blythe buys Dixie's recording track out, right? Because as I said, Blythe is very wealthy. Her family's very wealthy, right? But like, Dixie has been treating Blythe and Dawn and Blue, for that matter, like shit. Like, she has been treating them like shit the whole season, right? And she's very manipulative, and she does love her son, and she wants the best for her son, but she's very manipulative. So what happens at the end is Dixie buys. I mean, all Dixie wants is a record deal, right? All Dixie wants is to sing songs, and because she's a singer, right? All she wants is to sing songs and do um and and give her art to people, right? But Dixie's also very conniving and very backstabby and very like uh very rude and treats a lot of people in her life like shit. Right? So what Blythe does, because Dixie thinks she has one over on Blythe when she starts releasing the diss tracks, right? Is Blythe buys her record contract from her record label because Blythe's family's um wealthy, and she basically rubs it in her face, and then all Dixie wants, like, from this rivalry with Blythe, is she wants Dawn to be um her lover again, right? That's basically what she wants, because she feels betrayed, right? Even though, like, Dixie wasn't good for Dawn, and Blythe sees that, and even Dawn sees that, like, he still wants a relationship with his son, right? And so yeah, it's a really really good show. Like, I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff that happened in the season, but as I said, like, this and Marshall's I fell way behind on, and I fell way behind that I couldn't catch up in time to review each episode week by week by week by week. But I promise you, when season 2 comes out in the fall, I will be reviewing this week by week by week by week, and I won't fall behind. At least I'll try my best not to fall behind. And for me, this is just an incredible show, and and I guess this is a week of incredible TV, because Dutton Ranch comes out on Friday, and you dang right I'm gonna be reviewing that show week by week by week by week, because that has my favorite characters, some of my favorite characters on TV, coming back to our TV screens with Rip and Beth. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. The performances are incredible in this show. I can't wait to see where they go, because Ryan Philippe is joining season 2, and I'm interested to see what other country stars they get to cameo, because this season had Kane Brown and Noah Cyrus, right? So maybe Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley next season. I'm just saying, right? Or Luke Bryan, maybe, or I don't know, Jelly Roll, or somebody like that, right? That would be pretty cool if they got them to cameo. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching this review. I would give this season uh, a 9.5 or 10 out of 10, and I would really 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 appreciate it if you subscribed, liked, and shared this video. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I recommend you all watch this show as soon as possible. It's on Disney Plus, and thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless you guys.